we sold 1,974 event tickets at our 3 local game stores in Southern California for these 9 games.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!
We're going to look at our tickets sold by game, which we've done for the last couple of videos, but we are also going to look at some new data. New data is introduced. New data. We are also going to look at which games had the highest attendance by store. So at our Fountain Valley store, our Lake Forest store, and Oceanside, we'll see which game did the best at each of those locations. Some games rose, some games fell. And I had the luxury of being in the data as well. I played at our Oceanside store, played some One Piece down there in April. I also played Yu-Gi-Oh! At our Fountain Valley store a couple times as I'm learning both of those games and getting to know those communities a little bit better. But before we hop in, a couple notes, a couple things going on behind the scenes. I'm working on an additional content project specifically designed to help other local game stores increase attendance, revenue, and profitability. And it's something I'm really excited about, and it's going to take a little bit of time and work to develop, but it's pretty awesome. I'll be posting that content on YouTube, and I also kind of preview some of those topics on my Twitter/X account. So you can find that Travis Young 12 is my X account. You can check that out. Looking at that business side of the local game store, I'm going to be posting different topics like how to grow your local game store with Discord roles, how to use Instagram and Facebook advertising the right way, how to run commander events at your local game store profitably, how to play games for a living. That one's gonna be kind of tough, but we'll try. How to generate $200,000 a month at your local game store. How to increase your productivity as you manage your local game store or retail business. And if you're thinking about starting a local game store, what type of business do you want to form? From like a sole proprietorship to LLC, that sort of thing. Shit, that's a lot of stuff. It's kind of wild when you think about the things that you know after you've been doing this for a while. Sometimes it feels like you know nothing, and sometimes you start to write it down and put an outline together of the things that you know how to do.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
And there's a lot of topics. There's a lot of stuff to really dive into, and it's been exciting to realize that, after doing this for 10 years, there's a couple things I know that might be able to help some folks along the way. So I'm excited to help out with that. In the meantime, before I post the next YouTube video, feel free to email me, travis@kingslayergames.com, if you want some more one-on-one help with scaling your retail business, or if you're just a fan of the hobbies and the games and you want to get into the data of what games are growing at our local game store, just so you can decide what you want to play at yours. Let's hop right into that. We're going to start off with Sorcery Contested Realm at number 9. Last quarter, Sorcery was our number 8 in attendance and has fallen to number 9. We're just out of product. And this was what happened when you design a game that's gonna have a once-a-year release. There's gonna be really long periods of time where there's like dry spouts of product and availability. And even if you want to get into this game, it's really difficult to do so because there are not a lot of stores supporting Sorcery Contested Realm right now because of the product problem. And there's a new set coming out that we're doing some reprints, but it's really, in some ways, emulating a lot of what Magic and Flesh and Blood did as they grew and scaled from alpha to beta and beyond. But we're in that dry period right now. So we only had 16 tickets sold for the month of April for Sorcery Contested Realm. Can only go up from here. Going into number 8, we've got Digimon, and this is only supported at our Lake Forest store. We had 49 tickets sold for the month of April for Digimon. So it went up a spot from number 9 to number 8. So at least positive growth there. And 48 tickets sold for one store for a game that, in our area anyways, that we're trying to grow is pretty awesome. So shout out to the Digimon community at Lake Forest. Thanks so much for supporting the growth there. And yeah, if you want to play at Fountain Valley or Oceanside, let us know. We can look at adding some events there as well. Number 7, this is the big one. This is the big fall from grace. And the community is gonna eat me alive in the comments, but I'm still really bullish on this game. It's gonna rally through, especially with the release that comes out next week. Flesh and Blood had 108 tickets sold in April as it slid all the way from 5th place to 7th place on our list. The store attendance, we had 54 players playing at Fountain Valley, the most out of all 3 of our stores, then 29 at Lake Forest and 25 at our Oceanside store. So we're getting attendance at all 3 locations. Our staff loved the game. The game has a lot of hype going into the new set, but I think attendance was just waning at the end of the last set. So that really, my best guess for why our attendance was down. And I think Part the Mistville pre-releases and post that set coming out should do really well. I'm looking forward to playing the game as well. I started picking up pieces to play towards the end of May and into June. Looking forward to playing that game. Next up, we have a game that went from 7th place to 6th place, and I've been throwing the coals in the furnace of this one, trying to figure out why this game is fun, and I'm learning along the way. Yu-Gi-Oh! With 110 tickets sold in April, 78 of which are going to be from our Oceanside location, which led the way with Yu-Gi-Oh! And 32 at our Fountain Valley store. So that game is coming right along. We also have OTS approval for Lake Forest coming, so we will be supporting organized play of Yu-Gi-Oh! At all 3 stores, as we're really trying to discover this game a little bit more. There is so much to learn about Yu-Gi-Oh! The communities are massive. The YouTube communities, the in-store playing communities. I think we had a blind eye turned to this game for so long. It's going to be a struggle, to be completely transparent, to be profitable with the Konami-based product with Yu-Gi-Oh! There's not as much room for profitability or scaling when you look at something like One Piece or Flesh and Blood or Magic or Pokemon. But we're going to find a way to look at using a combination of selling Dragon Shields and snacks and drinks and other ways, and just bringing players into the game to try to generate revenue through Yu-Gi-Oh! But I'm excited to see it grow. I think we've got a lot of room to fill the stores with this game. So next, we've got Star Wars Unlimited with 215 tickets sold, which is insane for a brand new game it's really one of the last months before we go into a new set release, and we've got attendance just kind of bursting, and we're basically capped for all of our events. We can't really sell more than 215, maybe 230 per month, just because we don't have enough product to support organized play. So I think the game's going to do really well. Set 2 is going to be really fantastic, and pre-orders going up for that pretty soon. But Star Wars Unlimited, we had 106. So leading the way for our Star Wars Unlimited attendance is actually Lake Forest with 106 tickets sold. Fountain Valley had 84, and Oceanside had 25 tickets sold. So a combination for 215 tickets for Star Wars Unlimited. Congratulations to that game for rising up and joining the top 5, maybe temporarily. I think Flesh and Blood may have a pretty good May. We'll have to see in the long run. Jumping into our top 4, no changes here. We've got Disney Lorcana with 271 tickets sold for the month of April. Just phenomenal attendance for this game. Honestly, this would have put them into like 2nd place, except the other 2 games on this list, we had somewhat record-breaking months for attendance. So 271 tickets sold. This is including our set championships that we had both at Fountain Valley and our Oceanside store. So just an amazing turnout for a game that's still in really its infancy going into set number 4. So I'm really excited to have that support. Fountain Valley led the way with 130 tickets sold. Oceanside was in 2nd place with 71 tickets sold, and Lake Forest was in 3rd place with 70 tickets sold. And really, that set championship attendance really drove a lot of testing and all that into the game too. And people are still testing. We have Atlanta coming up and some other higher end events for Lorcana, so people are really enjoying that game, especially going into the next set. Now into our top 3. We have no change here for our top 3. Our 3rd place game is One Piece with 336 tickets sold. Same as Q1 attendance, just really, really awesome attendance for this game. And 1st place for this one, also kind of a surprise, Lake Forest led the way with our One Piece attendance with 138 tickets sold. Fountain Valley was in 2nd place with 124, and Oceanside in 3rd place with 74 tickets sold. So One Piece at 336. The game is in a great place. I built 2 decks and I'm really enjoying learning the meta. We cast it most Tuesdays, so you can check us out on Twitch, and I'm there talking One Piece with our community, and it's a really good time. So the game is in a stable place. There's a lot of awesome sets coming out. We can never keep the product in stock, and it's really a fantastic game to get into if you're newer to TCGs. The mechanics are pretty great. So that's One Piece in our 3rd place with 336 tickets sold. Next up, number 2, again, no change. We had Pokemon with 362 tickets. Earlier on our list, we looked at a game like Star Wars Unlimited, and it grew a ton. And you're like, wow, they're gonna leapfrog all the way to 2nd place and be right behind Magic. But Pokemon, we just got approved for League Cups in addition to our League Challenges, so our Pokemon attendance is growing. If you look at One Piece, the One Piece, we can't really sell any more tickets because we're at capacity. And of course, Magic is just leading the way with a great set like Thunder Junction. So Pokemon, first place was our Fountain Valley store with 178 tickets sold. Second place was Lake Forest with 93 tickets sold, and right behind it, Oceanside had 91 tickets sold. So really strong Pokemon attendance. The game is really approachable. It's our lowest cost to enter game on this list. But congrats to our Pokemon community for showing up. This is April was the first month of our new Elite Four season. So you might expect to see a little drop off or attrition after our last Elite Four season for Q1 wrapped up. People just kind of went wild. So our pre-release attendance has been really strong as well, and I'm excited to see that. So last up, we've got first place. It's going to be hard to take them off the throne here because they have such a lead. But first place in April, Magic the Gathering had 507 tickets sold. That includes our Sleigh Pass. We call it the Sleigh Pass. It's our Commander Pass for Commander at our stores on Friday Night Magic, and also Wednesdays at Fountain Valley, but it also includes our pre-release attendance. Outside of that, we don't really do much. Sometimes we do an occasional draft, like an on-demand draft, but 507 tickets sold is the vast majority of that is Commander, followed by pre-release. Leading the way, we have our Fountain Valley store, which has been there for 9 years, with 341 tickets sold in the month of April. Behind that is Oceanside in second place with 85 tickets sold, and Lake Forest with 81 tickets sold. And that, again, goes to a grand total of 507 there. And to recap, one thing I thought would be kind of fun, and I'll show this chart up on the screen here. If we looked at a first, second, third place, kind of like a gold, silver, bronze, Olympic podium style. I looked at some math here, and Fountain Valley led the way with 5 golds, 3 silvers, and no bronze. Lake Forest had 3 golds, 2 silvers, and 2 bronze. And Oceanside had 1 gold, 2 silvers, and 4 bronze. The Fountain Valley led the way with 8 medals, and Lake Forest and Oceanside tied with 7. So not that it's Olympic season, but I figured, hey, let's take a look at the data. Some folks had asked to look at the data comparing game by store. I'll leave this sheet, it's our local game store, Kingslayer attendance. I'll leave this sheet in the description, so if someone's curious and wants to see what our attendance was by game every month, I'll have that there so you can take a look. That's pretty much it. I'm excited to look at the data for May, and I really appreciate your support of the channel along the way here. And if you have any questions, you want to stay in touch with me a little bit more directly, if you want some help with your attendance at your local game store, you think I might be able to help out in any way, shape, or form, shoot me an email at travis@kingslayergames.com. Follow me on Twitter. Be happy to communicate with you on either platform. As always, make sure to subscribe, like, share, comment. Anything you can do to help will support the growth of the channel and really motivates me to keep this thing going. So appreciate your time, and we'll see you at the shop.